We can get this done quickly. We can move with urgency.
Did you thank President Trump for all the water, for the spigot that he turned to send all that water down the state?
Was not exactly the two words. One of the two was the same.
Are you ever, or at this point, are you surprised by anything?
I am surprised just how quickly they have created a climate of fear. I wouldn't have thought it possible, but by going after universities, they're intimidating other universities. By going after certain press organizations, they're causing others to self-censor. By going after certain law firms, they're causing other lawyers to not want to take cases if they think it will be retaliated against by the administration. Companies, towing a Trumpian line because they're worried about losing government contracts. I would not have thought it possible to so quickly create that climate of fear. And we have to band together. We have to speak out. We have to push back. We have to show courage. The dictator wannabes, this is part of their playbook. And the only way to defeat it is by standing strong and saying basically, screw you, I won't be intimidated.
Today, in his candid and impassioned appearance on Jimmy Kimmel, Live, Senator Adam Schiff launched a comprehensive and deeply critical assessment of former President Donald Trump and the enduring effects of his administration. Schiff's remarks were not merely political jabs, but reflected serious concerns about the erosion of democratic norms, the use of power to intimidate, and a pattern of governance rooted in self-interest and division. He opened by highlighting what he views as one of the most alarming legacies of Trump's presidency, the deliberate cultivation of a climate of fear. According to Schiff, Trump and his allies used tactics reminiscent of authoritarian regimes, targeting universities, the press, law firms, and private companies to silence dissent and discourage opposition, effectively weaponizing fear to gain compliance and control. Equally troubling, Schiff argued, was the administration's apparent embrace of cruelty as a governing principle rather than an unfortunate side effect. He pointed to policies such as slashing funding for school lunches and food banks, not just as misguided budget decisions, but as intentional acts of punishment toward the vulnerable, aimed at funneling more resources to the wealthy and well-connected. In this view, Trump's policies were designed less to improve governance and more to reward allies and punish perceived enemies, regardless of the human costs.
They seem to have cut hundreds of millions of dollars in money that was supposed to go to food banks for school lunches and for people who are hungry. What is the thinking behind that? Like, why?
Part of it is really the main thrust of it is they want to make all these cuts so they can take the money that they're supposedly saving and plow it into a tax cut for big corporations and wealthy people. That's sort of the central animating purpose of the Elon Musk and Donald Trumps and their crowd. But there's also a certain arsonist glee about watching things burn. So part of this, I think the cruelty is not an accident. I think part of it, the cruelty, is the objective. And this is what's going to bring them down. The corruption will bring them down. The cruelty will bring them down. This is not who we are as a country. But in addition to, their own self-defeating, internal, ugly politics, the Democratic Party needs to get its act together. We need to have an affirmative case we're making. And we need to answer the question that so many millions of Americans are asking, which is, if you're working hard in this country, can you still earn a good living for yourself and your family? We need to be able to answer that central question. I think the key to it is by getting things done again and moving the country forward. We can't be reliant on them to self-destruct, although they will. We have to offer something positive.
Adam Schiff delivers a bold critique of the Democratic Party, urging his colleagues to stop relying on Republican failures as a political strategy and instead take proactive, tangible action. He emphasizes that Democrats must reclaim their identity as the party of progress by actually building, whether it's housing, infrastructure, or healthcare, rather than just talking about it. Schiff doesn't hold back, expressing clear frustration with party leadership, particularly Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, for supporting a continuing resolution that, in his view, simply gave Republicans more time to dismantle vital services unchecked. He argues that the Democratic Party missed a key opportunity to stand its ground and show strength, even if it meant risking a government shutdown. Beyond strategy, Schiff stresses the urgent need for party unity, especially while in the minority, warning that without a unified voice, Democrats will be powerless to stop the sweeping, often harmful policies of their opponent. His message is unapologetically direct. Democrats need to stop playing it safe, start taking risks, and fight like they actually want to lead.
And when you say that, I think that's what Chuck Schumer said he is kind of relying on for them to self-destruct. And there are a lot of people who are asking, what are you doing? What are the Democrats doing? What's the plan? Well, I'm wondering also, what is, I can't understand Trump's plan, because it almost seems like he's intentionally tanking the economy. Is it possible that he actually is doing that?
Well, if you look at what he's doing, you could reasonably reach that conclusion.
Okay, let me ask it in a different way. Is it possible that that's what he is intending to do?
I don't think that's what he's intending, but the haphazard nature, for example, of these tariffs, the on-again, off-again tariffs, are just so destructive. And I think what businesses will tell you, we're innovative, we're entrepreneurial, we can deal with difficult things, but we need certainty. Just tell us what it's going to be. Is it going to be on? Is it going to be off? Let us plan. And they're not getting any of that ability to plan. And of course, we're alienating our closest allies, the Canadians. I mean, if you're going to pick a fight, really going to pick a fight with the Canadians? I mean, what did they ever do to us?
I don't know.
They're like the nicest people.
Maybe it's a message just to everyone to watch out. I mean, look at what we did to Canadians. You can't relax. I mean, look, watch it, Ireland. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the deal. Schiff straight up calls Trump's proposed budget cuts what they are: greedy, calculated moves designed to benefit the wealthy. We're talking about cutting funding for school lunches, food banks, the basic lifelines for people just trying to survive. And according to Schiff, this isn't just collateral damage. Nope. He says the cruelty is the point, like they're doing this on purpose because it fits their burn it all down and reward the rich playbook. And it doesn't stop there. It should sound new. Schiff's warning us that this kind of policy isn't just harmful, it's part of a bigger, scarier strategy, ruling by fear. He's talking about how the Trump crew goes after universities, law firms, journalists, anyone who pushes back. It's all about intimidation, create fear, and unfortunately, it's working in a lot of places. But Schiff isn't here to just call it out. He's calling for action. He says it's time for all of us, Democrats, independents, Republicans with a conscience, everyday folks, to stand up, speak out, and not back down. Because if we stay quiet while they turn fear into policy, we're handing them the keys to democracy. So yeah, this wasn't just a soundbite. It was a full-on call to arms. Schiff's saying the stakes are real, and the time to fight back is right now. Whether it's in the streets, at the ballot box, or just having uncomfortable conversations, we all have a role to play.
As far as the Democratic Party goes, there's, of course, last week, and there's a rift in the party. And it seems like there is, to a certain extent, young versus old, although that's not it doesn't exactly run that way. Chuck Schumer said, hey, we needed to keep the government open. And so that's why he and, some Democrats voted with the Republicans. You voted against that. Explain that. Why is he wrong on that?
Well, we know what we would get and will get with this 6 months of autopilot for the federal government. Basically, continuing resolution is a fancy name for autopilot. You basically continue funding the government the same way you've been doing for the last several months. The problem is they're tearing everything down. They're violating the law. They're withholding funding for vital services. They're going after Medicaid. So giving them 6 more months of running room seems to me a terrible thing to do. Now, I get that people are worried about, well, what's the alternative? Maybe they really want to shut down the government. And for me, the certainty of knowing what the next 6 months would look like, I will trade that for the uncertainty if they end up shutting down the government. But I will tell you this one thing I think is certain, and that is we cannot be divided in the minority. The only way we're going to stop bad stuff from happening in the Democratic Party is if we are absolutely united and speaking with one voice. We need to fight. They are not going to give up power willingly. No one ever gives up power willingly. We are going to have to get it by fighting. And we had an opportunity to fight last week, and we should have taken it.
Schiff underscores the critical importance of democratic unity and a clear forward-thinking agenda in the face of what he describes as destructive and chaotic economic policies under Donald Trump. He criticizes Trump's unpredictable tariffs and trade wars, highlighting the damage they inflict not just on international relationships, but also on American businesses that rely on stability and long-term planning. Schiff points out that these erratic economic moves, such as the sudden imposition or withdrawal of tariffs, create an environment of uncertainty that is harmful to innovation and growth. For Schiff, this reinforces the urgent need for the Democratic Party to present a coherent and proactive economic vision, not just as opposition to Trump's missteps, but as a compelling alternative rooted in progress, stability, and fairness. He uses the example of Trump's aggressive trade stance against Canada to illustrate how misplaced hostility is damaging vital alliances. He questions the logic behind antagonizing a country as famously friendly and cooperative as Canada, implying that such behavior is not only unnecessary but counterproductive. His broader point is that solidarity within the Democratic Party is essential, not only to push back against damaging policies, but also to protect America's global reputation and restore diplomatic relationships that have been strained by Trump's combative approach. In both cases, Schiff presents unity not as a feel-good slogan, but as a strategic necessity for governing effectively and repairing the harm done both at home and abroad. What did you think about Adam Schiff's take on democratic unity and his critiques of Trump's economic and foreign policies? Do you agree with his call for a more proactive and united approach from the Democratic Party? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let's get a conversation going. Thanks so much for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more political commentary and deep dives, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. See you in the next one.